All right, so hi everybody, welcome to this live. I'm really happy that you all are here today. And today's live is very special for me, not just as a coach, but as a mentor and as someone who truly believes in what mind training can do for a child. And why only for a child? What mind training can do for any individual on this planet Earth. So when we talk about memory, most of the people have this assumptions that memory is something that you are either born with or you are not. So maybe some children are naturally smart, some are not, is what we keep on hearing from people around. People think that either they have a sharp brain or maybe they don't have a sharp brain. But what if I tell you that memory is something, it's like a skill. It's actually a skill that can be trained, that can be strengthened, and that can be improved as well. So just like any other skill that we work on, just like we build our muscles, we go to the gym and we build our muscles every day, the same manner, it's your mind that you can actually train. So today I'm extremely proud to introduce one of my student, Apurva. Hi Apurva, welcome to this live.
Hi, ma'am.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. So Apurva is here along with her mom. Apurva is 10 years old, right Apurva?
No, I'm actually 12.
You're 12. Okay. So Apurva is 12. So that's my mistake. Apurva is 12 years old and she has recently won the first runner-up trophy at the World Memory Championship, which was organized in Mumbai by Brain Infinite team and in November 2025 itself. Now, what makes this moment very special for me is that Apurva has been training with me for the last 5 years now, and I have seen her journey very closely. And I know that the success that she has achieved right now, it's not an overnight success because it's all what has happened when she actually trained her mind, right? So with the right training, and when the right training actually meets her own patience and her own self belief, is what creates magic. Right? So instead of me talking about the memory secrets today, let's just hear it directly from her. Yeah, so yes, Apurva. First of all, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling good.
You feeling
Yeah.
good? All right, good. So, Apurva, can you just tell a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Apurva. I'm from Karnataka, Bangalore, and I am 12 years old and I'm in studying in seventh standard. I started memory when I during COVID in 2021, I think so. So then I was like, what would this like what impact would memory have on my life, because we had online classes at that time and I didn't really feel like implementing the methods. But when I joined, like when I shifted from third to fourth, we had like offline classes, and then during the exams I started using the memory techniques
So
and they
you were
worked
in
so well
third
for me.
standard? You were in third standard when you joined?
Yeah, I guess I was in third.
Third or fourth, you joined that early, and I'm so happy and so proud that you actually took the right decision at that time. And I see that there are so many parents who still feel that my child is so small, Abhi is just in third standard, he's just in fourth standard, what will he learn in this program, and how is this program going to help them out? But now seeing Apurva's journey, I feel that I'm sure people who are parents and people who are watching us and listening to us, they get the right thought of actually going for such mind training programs, because I'm sure that the earlier you start training your mind, it is always good. Yeah. All right. Yes, Apurva. So go ahead.
Um, yeah, so
All right. So now that you have shared a little bit about yourself, I just want to ask you one simple question. So, when you started off this memory training or mind training with us, how was your thought process at that time? What was your mindset? Like, did you feel, was it easy for you at that time, or you felt it was a little challenging, like with every other student who feels a bit challenging to take up a new thing to learn? So I'm sure this also was an absolutely out of your comfort level thing that you were planning to go ahead. So what were your thoughts at that time?
I was in the mindset that, oh, this is just gonna be another like normal online class. I didn't think it'll have such a big impact in my life at that time. But I found it like it was not easy, but it was not hard. So I found it like somewhere in the middle. Yeah, but some
Yeah,
of the yeah, because when you learn the techniques, you have to implement them because there's no point in learning if you don't implement them on your own studies. So that part
absolutely.
I found hard. Implementation was
Right.
a bit hard for me
Yes, so
because of
I'm
the
sure
online
like
classes.
every other student, you also thought of not doing it or not trying it because it was just like an another class that your mother has enrolled you into, and I'm sure in the beginning you also found it a little difficult and out of your comfort level, and you didn't even try practicing it. You maybe you felt tired at that time, and you felt like, "ठीक है, let it be," and you didn't actually care about like what I know. Right? Ki, it's okay. I'll do it later. I'll try it afterwards. Yeah. Were that the kind of thinking that you were having at that particular time period?
Yeah, like kind of like if you give assignments, like you give like few words to memorize, and the next
Hmm.
class you would ask us the words and the story we made. So
Yeah.
I would do those, and I actually had fun, but I didn't know
Hmm.
how to like convert that into my studies because
Exactly.
at that time I studies when studies hits my brain, I think it's always boring
Hmm.
when I was young.
I got
And
you.
then
I got.
just one point here, ma'am.
Yeah.
I think these championships that happened last year, that kind of gave a push also, because when
Hmm.
you have something to achieve, some target to achieve, okay, you want to perform in a platform, that kind of pushes you to get into
That
it.
motivates
That
her.
also, yeah, and that translated to her academics also, because when she realized
Hmm.
that these techniques are good and you can actually leverage them for your studies. She felt that she should implement it more towards her studies, not only just restricted to championships.
Correct, correct. Apurva, you tell me, the truth, okay? Did you really apply all the memory techniques, or were it like you felt that, okay, there were few that was useful for me, and I should go ahead applying those techniques in my studies, and it's okay, even if I'm not getting the other techniques, it's fine because what were your take on that? Like, did you, because we worked on a lot of techniques. I remember we worked on a lot of memory techniques to memorize different answers, or the information that you were having. So did you work on every technique, or you took command over few of the techniques?
First, I tried implementing all the techniques. Like for a
Hmm.
few subjects, I would
Hmm.
implement like journey. Few I would implement the United method, and few the pegging method, and yeah.
Yeah.
But I that like it confused my brain.
Hmm.
So at that time, my mind just told me just use the techniques which you think is meant for you.
Oh my God. I
So
love when you said that, my mind told me that, you focus on. Oh my God. That's such a sweet reply. I love that. So I love hearing, my students saying, those things and those big jargons using, my mind told me that, I should go ahead. Yes, absolutely. It's, people find it funny, but that's the fact that it's when you start training your mind, when you start working on your mind, it's your mind that will tell you that, okay, this is something that you can go ahead with, right? And you start to take your decision and take your call on what is right and what is wrong. You start to understand that this is something which is working for me, and this is something which is not working for me. Yeah, and I feel that it's absolutely okay to skip a bit of the part that you are learning and go with something which actually is useful for you, right? So in my programs also, I always talk about there are a lot of techniques that we use, we learn, but one technique which is working for one student might not work the same for the other student, right? So you need to understand, and that can only happen when you start to implement. Only when you start to implement, only when you start to put that in action, put that technique into your studies, in your academics, in whatever you are learning, is when you will start to realize that this is something which I am, yes, this is helping me out. It's saving my time to memorize some information and I'm able to recall it better. Yeah. Yes, Apurva. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so Apurva, I'm sure you actually worked a lot on your training your mind. How has this memory training helped you in your school, in your academics also? Did you feel that there was some change that you actually found in terms of your confidence, in terms of while writing the exams, and how was your mindset before you even joined these memory classes? Were you having any kind of fear while writing the exams? Were you feeling you were not very confident enough? And now, after being, into this memory training for the last 4 years or 5 years now, how do you see a change? How do you see a transformation?
So before like I started implementing the techniques, I used to be like an average student, like getting okay marks. But when I started implementing these, I started getting very good marks in fifth, and also I used to be the topper of the class. And
Mm.
whenever I used to write the exam, I used to think of the story, and it quickly came to my mind what word or what sentence I should write next. So that helped
Mm.
me with writing long paragraphs in
Mm.
history and stuff.
Hmm. Very nice, very nice. So you actually understood what is the core of learning, how learning has to happen, right? Because only when you understand how your brain understands every information or your brain registers any information is when you start to, work on that and you start to see the results also happening, right? Okay, so Purva, like for all the parents out there, and ma'am, you also you can let me know, like as a parent, where do you feel that children are actually facing the challenges these days, and how do you think this memory training or mind training can actually help them out?
I think it's more to do with focused attention, and not being able to give that undivided attention for a long time is a major issue that parents face these days. I think these
Hmm.
techniques will help to reduce your study time, because if you're able to grasp things faster, if you are able to shorten the time that you spend on studies, and if you can spend that amount of time into other activities, it's good for your brain also, rather than having long hours only studying. It's important to have that balance. I
Correct,
think these
correct.
if they are utilized rightly, you
Hmm.
can shorten the study time and balance it out with other activities. That way, kids
Hmm.
are more engaged also. They look forward to studying and doing those activities at the same time. I
Hmm.
think that's how this would work if rightly implemented.
Yes, yes, yes. So it's all about the implementation, because we see that there are so many students who keep joining the programs, different programs. It's not about the my program, but a lot of parents, they enroll their kids in different classes, different tuitions. However, only even though they are enrolling in different classes, it's only about when the child is actually working and implementing what is being taught in that particular class. If unless and until they are implementing, there's no result that they will be able to see, right? So has this kind of a training also helped you in managing your time, in managing your schedule in any way? Because I'm sure, Purva, you must be having a lot of your academics, study work from the school, the homework. So how are you able to to manage everything and then preparing for the championships also. So, how were you able to manage your time, making sure that you are able to finish your homework also on time, your schoolwork on time, and also practicing for the championship?
So for my like studying time, I study for an hour. I use the Pomodoro technique. For 20 minutes, I'll study. Then I take like a 5-10 minutes break. Then I continue the cycle until 1 hour is over. And then after that, I study. I do like 10-15 minutes of memory each day. And I would do 3 events at least, either 3 events or 3 attempts of the same event
Mm,
each day.
right.
So,
Okay.
so
So
that's
you
how
think
I.
So do you think that you said that 10 to 15 minutes? Do you think if somebody, if a new student who is joining the program and he just practices consistently for 10 to 15 minutes also every single day, will that make a difference for that child?
Yeah, because instead of practicing 1 hour for one day in a week,
Hmm.
if you practice for like 10 to 15 minutes every single day, then your scores will also improve.
Hmm.
And there is continuity also.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
continuity
you
also.
you fall into that, momentum, and you come into that zone where your mind gets trained that I have to do this work, and it is only for a short period of time. It is not for a longer period of time that I have to sit. And then just because we know that our brain always looks for pleasure, so the brain knows that okay, 15 minutes of focus work, and then I am actually free, and then I can do whatever I want. So it's something which you are training your brain again. So that's how you're working on. All right, it's very nice, very nice. Thank you, Apurva, for sharing that. So, okay, Apurva. So, who do you think was the your biggest supporter in this journey?
First of all, my mom, and you, of course, you're the one who trained me through all this for 6 months, and she took me to the venue. She arranged all the transport and the fees and all.
Hmm.
So yeah,
But you know
both.
what? It's actually you who was your biggest supporter, was you yourself, right? Even before me and your mom, it was actually you, because you started to have that self belief that I can do it, right? Firstly, you develop that confidence within yourself that it is possible, and I can take that step of enrolling myself for the World Memory Championship, which is a big, big, grand event. I remember in 2023 when we had when we actually participated for the very first time in any kind of a championship, there was more than 700 people who came from across the world and they participated, and you still did that. You were in top were you in top 10? Top or top
Top
100?
six,
Top
top
6?
six, and top 100
Top 100 and
in.
top 6. And in just 2 years of, being in top 100, you came in top 3. And that's a big achievement. I'm sure that's a big achievement for you. But having said that, I also know that this is not the end of our journey, right? This is just the beginning of our journey, because there's a long way ahead, and I'm sure I want you to set a goal for the next year now, with the upcoming year. What is that one goal that you are setting for yourself, Apurva?
I would like to attend like many more championships in the upcoming year, and I would be in the junior category, which
Yes. So
it
there
would
will
be
be a
a new
tough
thing for
competition.
me.
The competition will increase
Yeah.
once you go into the, junior category. So the tougher the competition, I'm sure the kind of practice, the kind of dedication that you have to start working on will be increased. And I'm sure you need to start working on your practice right from today itself. Yeah, without wasting any time, you need to start working on yourself again, right? So, ma'am, what are your takes on her journey? Like, what do you think, and how do you see Apurva now as a parent? Because you've seen her journey within the last 4 years, right? You know how was she before, And what improvement are you noticing every day, or while she's practicing or while she's working on training her mind? What improvement do you see in her?
So of course, as you mentioned, her focus and her interest towards learning takes makes her what it is today for her, because
Absolutely.
end of the day, I can push her. You can schedule classes. It is
Yes,
on her to how she wants to take it forward, or how she
absolutely.
shows up, right? So I think that on that matter, I should really appreciate her. She doesn't require too much of follow up, and I sincerely do not have time also to kind of follow up too much on her, and see where she, how it is progressing, or how she's taking it forward. But I think your mentorship also matters a lot, ma'am. You pushed her a lot this year. I could see that, she wanted to do it for herself. And though last time she had very less time in the last world championship, wherein she got
Yeah,
on one of the categories,
correct.
she was in top five. She did not give up. That was the best thing. I was happy that she wanted to attend this year also. It was her own interest. I was checking with her whether she want to participate, and she was willfully wanting to participate. So I think that matters a lot. In spite of not being able to win medals in the initial championships, and not giving up, attitude is very much required for any skill, for that matter, right? So I've
Absolutely.
seen her that, yeah, I've seen that quality in her in the last few years in her journey. And going forward, I want her to consistently take this forward, not only from a championship standpoint, but also from her academics and her career standpoint, right? Because it plays a major role if you have to attend those entrance exams, or whatever you want to pursue. Few of the career options would require you to clear those tough tests. So I think there it will matter a lot. So I want her
Definitely.
to consistently practice this, not to give up. Don't take it for granted. You should never take things for granted, because it's every milestone that you reach is a stepping stone for the next milestone. So
Next
I want her to
milestone.
take it that way. Yeah,
Yes,
that's how I
absolutely.
want her to take it.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I'm sure she has that ability to, keep going. And yeah, very rightly said, ma'am, that it's her, that skill of not giving up on herself and keep trying. That's very important, because that's the only thing which I want all of my students to, have and inculcate in them, that you don't have to be dependent on your parents to look and remind you for certain things. Unless and until you set a goal for yourself, you see how you want to see yourself as next year. Let's say it is a next year coming, so decide one goal for yourself and start working on it. Right. So just becoming one better version of who you were yesterday, that's it. That's what is required. And the moment you start to understand that it is only you who has the control of your life, there is nobody, you are not dependent on anyone, and nobody is responsible for your success, for your failure. It is only you who has to decide whether you want to go and take that path of success, or you do not want to take that path of success, right? Once you decide that you have to, then start taking those small steps, start taking those actions towards it, and you will see that success is not far from you. Yeah, so that self belief is really, really important. Okay, so that was nice, Apurva. And I just wanted to know, like, is there any message that you want to give to the other students who, I'm sure parents are watching this, and maybe they'll watch it afterwards. So, what message would you like to give? Because now you you've now reached a stage where now you're inspiring others, right? People will look at you, look upon at Apurva as, somebody who is an inspiration to so many other children who still have that low self belief, who still want to give up in between, who still think that no, let me just go back into my own and previous zone of learning the way that I am learning, and not taking the step to actually try something new for themselves, right? So what is that message that you would like to give to the students out there?
So whenever you learn something new, like any skill, not just memory, you have to implement it in your life or like in your studies, because there's no point of learning if implementation is not there. So I know it's hard because it was hard for me to implement it. I took like 1 or 2 years to adjust to the skills. So yeah, but once you adjust, it will be the easiest thing in the whole world. So
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And I'm sure, like you said, that you took time. It took 2 years for you to adjust, but you didn't give up only because you know that let me just keep on trying and trying and trying, and that's what it actually helps you. Now it becomes easier, right? So it's always the initial path is always tough, it's always difficult, because there's certain kind of a pathway which is already formed in our brain, right? We have been working on one thing over the years, and that's how our brain is already formed, it's wired. Now if we want to rewire our brain, we want to form a different neural pathway in our brain, it will take some time, it will take some time. But the best part is that you keep on going and going and going and going, and one day you yourself will see that the new pathway which is formed is much easier than what you were actually doing, right? So just if you are ready to take that initial struggle for yourself, is when you will see that the after effects and the result that you will be seeing afterwards will be way higher, and much more, you will be having a much more happier life than what you were having earlier, right? So yes, thank you, Apurva. That was a real good message. And ma'am, what message would you like to give to the parents who still feel that sometimes the parents, I receive so many messages from parents saying that, I think my child is not capable of doing something, or maybe he's too small. Recently, I just had a conversation with one parent, and the parent was like, my child is still in fourth standard. I don't think that's something which is, it's too early for the child, and he won't be able to understand it. So what message would you like to give to those parents who still feel that something, it's too early for a child, it's too early for my child to learn this?
I think starting early really matters a lot because kids tend to learn it faster when they are, those initial age group, right? I think and encouragement from the parents will definitely help. Also making them understand as to how this skill is going to make a difference in their academics is what matters a lot. If you can guide them in the right direction as to how actually this could make a difference, how it could reduce their study time and give them more time for themselves, I think that could be a very good conversation trigger to tell them
Definitely.
that you get more time for yourself, right?
Yes.
Kids always want to have that more time for themselves, have more play time. Of course, this if these techniques are implemented rightly, they could shorten that study time and spend time for themselves.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, that guidance uh, matters a lot, and of course
Yes.
encouraging them as and when they feel that
Yes.
they're going
Absolutely.
low, I
So
think.
I always tell this one thing to parents, that don't just leave the child to, thinking that you have enrolled your child in any class or any tuition and your job is done. Your job is never done, because you are the strongest supporter. Your children look up to you, because a tutor or a mentor, a coach will be there with your child for a small duration, but it is you who your child is, continuously looking at. So you have to keep on, being connected with your child, keep asking what has been done, what has not been done, how is it working or not, because that's how the child will be able to see the result also, and you will also be able to connect with the child better in understanding what is happening in the classes, right? So the parents' involvement is very, very important. So, all right. So I think we can end the session here. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining in. So there was a little bit of a glitch which happened in the YouTube, and that's why we just have to switch to the different mode of recording our video, and we'll be putting it live on the YouTube very soon. So thank you for your patience. And if you are already one of my student or you're part of my community, I welcome you once again, and be here, be a part of my community. And if you're new here, I would like to welcome you again on my YouTube channel. So with this new year coming up, I'm going to be sharing a lot of practical content around memory, about mind training, learning skills, confidence, how parents can support their child better. So don't forget to follow this channel, subscribe it, so that you don't miss out what's coming next. So thank you so much for being here, Purva and ma'am, and keep growing, keep learning, and I'm sure you'll very soon reach a different stage where you are definitely going to be inspiring a lot more people around. So thank you so
Thanks
much for
for the
joining in.
opportunity, ma'am.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.